Howdy, everyone. Tad Stevens on the Micro Success Secrets podcast, where we focus on business psychology and marketing and how you can use that in your business daily and long term. Today, I'm talking with Julie Kantor. Julie, how you doing? And introduce yourself a little bit for us.
Sure, Tad. It's we've been talking for years, and it's so great to be on your podcast. I'm Julie Kantor, and I am the CEO of Twomentor. We stand up mentoring initiatives, basically just to help people help each other and help elevate each other in corporate America, with associations and with universities. So I'm thrilled to be here, Tad, on your show.
Excellent. All right. Well, then let's jump right in. I like to start with this question. And it's, if you could go back in a time machine and you could change one business or life decision, or two, if you've got two, if you could change one business or life decision, first off, would you change it? And if you would, what would you change it to?
I've been thinking what a difficult question that is. You sent it to me. I'm like, what would I change? I'm someone who follows her heart, who follows her instincts. And so I'm someone who very rarely has regrets.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a tough question for me to answer but I would say that 2 years into running my business, I was struggling. I was struggling financially, and I couldn't understand why mentoring, why I was not on fire with this, based on everything the market was saying, my relationships. And I wrote to my advisors when I started Twomentor. By the way, if you take the word mentor and put TWO in front of it, you put the word women and men into mentoring, and it takes two to mentor. A lot of plays on words. But I was like wondering, why am I so poor? Why isn't this working? I have a huge network. I have every advantage to make a business work. Why do I feel like I'm failing? And I wrote to one of my mentors, Tien Wang, and he wrote back to me, and he said to me, Julie, it takes, 2, 3 to 5 years to start a new business. And it's all about how much, the ramp up time is going to take 8 times longer than you realize. And that it's all about how much psychological trauma you can handle before you become successful. And he was dead on, because it was like the next year that we had a $300,000 or $350,000 a year. But it was agony. It was so hard. And I think I planted 1 million seeds and just not seeing them sprout. So I'm not sure how I would change that story, but I kind of wish that I knew that it would take much more. And so I guess my advice when someone else is in the same position is start a business once you already have a contract, or that you have a steady stream of revenue, before jumping off a cliff like I did. So I'm not sure I would change anything. I might have actually started entrepreneurship 10 years earlier, but in essence, this is my 5th startup. But I always had a safety net, and in this one, I didn't.
Okay. And just to let you know, I hear that a lot. I mean, if I could do anything, I'd start a little earlier. Or, the ramp up, when you mentioned the ramp up, not a lot of people talk about that, but I'm glad you brought it up, is it's there. I mean, I don't believe in overnight successes. Buddy of mine who's in the CPA space was telling me they'd been working at their business for 10 years, and they struggled for literally 10 years. And he said, then they finally got it all together and it took off. So he likes to say he's a 10-year overnight success, because it's all the stuff that happens before you have that big spike. Anyway, so along those lines, as you've gone through this, you come upon anything, a decision you've made, business or life decision, that turned out to be just super positive? I mean, just over the top, good stuff. And you look back at it and, you've got everything before that decision and everything after that decision. So you got kind of like a mark there, a demarcation point. Do you have something like that?
I have a couple answers for that one.
Okay.
First, I moved to Florida. That was fantastic, from Washington, D.C. and Boston. I
Okay.
moved to Florida and, realized as an entrepreneur, I can work from anywhere.
Right.
And that was an amazing thing, that I could own my schedule and work. And, as long as there was an international airport near me, I could do my business. So that freedom, I appreciate every day. Secondly, once I moved here, I joined the Entrepreneurs Organization, and I'm
Okay.
in their accelerator program. And I have a group of 192 like-minded people in South Florida, and we coach, mentor, support each other. Everyone's hit either $250,000 in revenues at the accelerator level or over $1 million at the EO level. So I have this incredible network that's just off the charts, that we share information. That's been amazing. A friend of mine asked me to come and do a keynote in Miami for
Okay.
a major insurance company. And she did something very important. She had me come in the night before and invited me to a dinner. At that dinner, she introduced me to 3 operating unit leaders, CEOs that each had about $10 billion in revenues underneath them. And one of them, it just flipped a switch. She said, I had mentors, I had sponsors who were people who championed me, and we're going to do this. And she gave me about my first 6-digit contract. So from that dinner, and having my friend, who did not have a budget to hire me really, introduced me to 3 leaders, I landed a 3-year, significant contract. And that got me well on my way, so I could hire, so I could grow, so I could market more. So between moving to Florida, joining Entrepreneurs Organization, and having a friend champion me for opportunity, those were all super positive, and it gave me the foundation and the financial validation to live a very different, wonderful life, that I still appreciate very much.
That's awesome. I mean, the dinner, that would be a dinner I would love to go to.
Yeah.
That sounds just totally awesome. So, but as you're going through these things, and you mentioned, there was a ramp up time you saw, and I talked a little bit about my buddy who had a similar experience, and I see a lot of that. I don't know if it's part of that or it's just part of the normal day to day of an entrepreneur, but you come up against a lot of decisions. Sometimes we don't want to make those decisions and we get stuck. As a mentor, as somebody who's been in business and just run into these kinds of things, do you have a method, a technique, a set of steps that you go through to get yourself unstuck, or maybe that you recommend to others?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and being part of different entrepreneurial circuits, being stuck, right now, everyone I know is pivoting in some way with their businesses. Everyone feels a little stuck, or a lot stuck in some way.
Yes.
So I'm going to share with you, I have a couple thoughts on what you're asking, but I'm going to share with you something really direct. It was August. My husband and I, things were really slow. I wasn't, I'm at 50% of revenue goal for the year. It's August. Things are slow. No vacation, of course.
Right.
Canceling everything. And my husband and I were on a phone with this guy who was a groomsman at our wedding, 21 years ago.
Right.
And he was selling personal protection equipment. as a second business.
Yeah.
And he was just on fire. He was having fun. He had a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And here's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like I'm playing a game of tennis and that I have hit 3 million. I'm not joking, 3 million balls over the court, and not a lot are coming back to me. And I'm feeling badly. I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling anxiety. You know, we're building a new home. I need some money to, to pay the, I don't want to get a huge mortgage, all that. And I said to my husband, let's help him. All this to say, I started a second company called On the Ground Advisors. So I basically pivoted to have 2 streams of revenues. And my next step is to hire a director of operations so that I can leverage my strength with 2 businesses, not 1.
Yeah.
And started, it's, right now I'm working on a machine that takes COVID out of the air, disinfects the air. It's a medical one machine that is in 120 major hospitals in Italy. So I don't love my brain being cut, my focus being in 2 directions, but I guess to not be stuck, I'm doubling my odds at success with 2 companies, one that has a long sales cycle, corporate mentoring, and one that could not be more of an emergency, where my phone is blowing up of people needing nitrile gloves and thermometers, and like my phone is blowing up of people in need. And that has its issues too. I don't want to sugarcoat it. But I guess pivoting, doubling my odds, even though it's confusing to my brain, it's a choice that I made to try. And I literally set up the bank account 2 weeks ago. It's happening.
All right. So just keep moving forward, basically. I mean,
don't be
pivot.
Do not be ashamed if you're struggling, but look for additional opportunities. And number 1, no self-criticism, self-compassion. But if you have not brought in revenues for 3 or 4 months, be open to other streams of revenues.
Yeah.
Be open to other streams of revenues. And don't get stuck in what could be, should be. Get out of it. Break out of that. Be an entrepreneur. Be opportunistic.
Be entrepreneurial, absolutely. And I wanted to bring up for listeners and viewers that I had somebody else tell me, I wish I'd come up with it, but that COVID really accelerated online activity, business, whatever, by about 10 years in a period of 10 months. And, it would come anyway. We were going in that direction anyway. It's just COVID sped it up because there was a need. And what I want to make clear, that my belief is that it's not too late. A lot of people say, oh, it's been around. People are already doing this. Yeah, people are already doing it. But, look at internet businesses. Internet's been around for over 20 years and people are still starting them, and they're still, banking big. So don't think it's too late. It is just starting. And so what you did, I think, is awesome. I mean, the situation came up, you took advantage of it, unsure, unknown, but you did it anyway. So
yeah,
well done. Excellent. Yeah. So to wrap up a bit, kind of roll it all together. If something happened like COVID and your business didn't work anymore and you knew what you know now, what would you do? Would you do the work in the same thing? I mean, you've kind of already answered it. Would you do the same thing you're doing now? Would you do something different? I mean, it sounds like you do both, but what do you think? What would you do?
Yeah, I think that you got to invest all your belief in yourself, and then leverage and find and learn about what your strengths are. And I guess I learned that I could facilitate between buyer and seller and offer outstanding customer service, and that I was far more networked than I realized. So leveraging and being strategic. I also learned, and I guess I'll throw this out there, you almost anyone selling something that's working will give you 10% of their revenues. So if you called me today and said, Julie, I want to help you sell, thermometers, or I want to help you sell nitro gloves, or I want to help you sell corporate mentoring, I'll be like, great, I'll give you 10% of the revenues we bring in. And these contracts could be 100,000 or 60,000 or multi-million. So almost anyone, if you've got a good network, be strategic. Look at leveraged opportunities with other entrepreneurs who are making money. Okay. And you don't have to give up what you're doing, but you can, again, be very strategic. Maybe you're great at marketing. Help me, help others, and get a piece.
Yeah.
Value yourself and what you have to bring and make it work for yourself. You don't have to go jump into a salaried position. I would also say anyone who's out of work that's looking for a job, go help them. Go into your LinkedIn network, open up opportunities for them, make introductions, because that's how they're going to get a job. And that's our responsibility to give back. Do something of service. It'll make you feel better about yourself and your life. And by all means, write down right now 5 things you're grateful for that you do have. Like, I'm grateful that I'm having this conversation with my friend Tad and that my office is not on fire. Okay? Like, I am so grateful my office is not on fire and I don't have COVID right now, but I'm so grateful I had Thanksgiving turkey on my plate. Okay. A lot of people don't. Millions did not. Figure out, and then again, you got to go for it. You got to believe in yourself, and you got to fight right now harder than you've ever fought for things to happen.
Okay. I want to kind of roll that up in it, because as you were saying that, it reminds me of the Zig Ziglar quote, and I'll butcher it. Basically what he was saying is, you'll get everything you want in life if you help enough people get what they want in life.
You nailed it.
And it fits. It keeps fitting, and people keep doing that in other ways. They say it in other ways, but it's the same basic idea. And I think that's awesome. So Julie, really appreciate it. Really appreciate your time and sharing today. Is there anything that you would like to close with? Anything that you can give or offer that you have that would benefit the viewers and listeners?
Yeah, 10%. Write me.
I love it.
10%. Let's do it. Team up.
That's
Julie,
the best one.
Yeah, seriously, make some money here. You can reach me at Julie at Twomentor, TWO mentor.com. And if you want to know, again, that's Julie at Twomentor.com. And if you want resources on being a great mentor and videos and learning, and we have training, just write to me. And if you know a company that might want to build a mentoring program, or an association who might want to bring this to their membership, we should definitely talk right away.
Okay, super. And I will make sure all of that is in the show notes, all the contact information, how they can get a hold of you, and in the description, anywhere else.
And if they, if they mention the word TAD, I'll increase it to 12%. But they have to use the word
TAD, T-A-D.
Yeah, if you say
spelled T-A-D,
you get more money.
Yeah, absolutely. So Julie, thanks again. Really appreciate all that. Thanks everyone for listening in. Have a very safe and productive week, and be the very, very best at whatever you are doing. Until next time, this is Tad Stevens, Micro Success Secrets. Bye for now.